breakfast. The Radio Wammo Breakfast.
The Geek Show.
Joining us from The Geek Show today, it is MsBehaviour. Hello to you, Ms. B.
Good morning, Wammo.
Good morning. Did you wake up to an alarm this morning?
Oh, I did indeed. Well, actually, I woke up before the alarm, but just before.
Don't you hate it when you wake up maybe like half an hour before the alarm?
Yeah.
It's like,
I quite like that.
Do you?
Yeah, I quite like that. So it's just like hanging there in limbo before the day starts.
I suppose it means that you're meant to wake up at the time. Does it mean you're sleeping shallow, I suppose?
Yes, I have no choice anyway. The cats dive on me. Mummy, bickies!
What I was going to ask is whether or not your alarm is tied in with some kind of...
My alarm is furry and stamps on my head.
It's a natural alarm.
It is. It's very reliable.
Well, this relates to what we're talking about today, and that is keeping organised using online tools, Ms. B.
Indeed, yes. Time is money, as they say. Time is very precious these days, and we never seem to have enough of it. Ironically enough, one of the biggest time sinks there is trying to organise meetings.
Yeah.
This is even before you get into the meeting.
Yeah.
And a quick note on that one. Best way to have a quick meeting, take the chairs out of the room.
It's a good idea.
It works. So I've been having a look at some time management tools to help deal with this problem, because some companies are estimating, some organisations, you can waste up to 20 hours a month organising meetings.
Wow.
Which is insane. So, I've been looking around the area. Now, obviously, there's the basic Google Calendar, which a lot of people have Google tools. You can use a shared Google Calendar, but not everybody wants to use Google or can use it as an email system. So there's a few good tools which let you send meeting invites out to people that give options of different time slots. And then people can go, okay, I can make that one, and from that you can see which is the best time to run your meeting. So one that I had a look at is Tungle.me, a scheduling application. It syncs with a number of different calendar tools, which is good, so you don't have to have everybody using the same system. It sends out meeting invites, you get different time slots, and it lets you avoid double booking people or missing out on time zones, because, again, more of us are now working with people overseas. And I remember when I used to work for the European Commission with people in Europe, with people in Asia, with people in America, time zone calculations were incredible.
Yeah.
I used to sit there for hours with world clock and have to sit and work out what was the optimum time to run online meetings. And for me, it was usually about 3-4 o'clock in the morning, New Zealand time.
Yeah, I suppose even useful for the show as well, and hooking up interviews overseas.
Yes, exactly. A brilliant idea. So these are really useful tools. So that's Tungle.me. There's another one called Doodle.com. Again, it works in a very similar way by polling people. So you just send out meeting, go, okay, I can do this slot, this slot, this slot. They vote, you choose your time. And another one, because these are slightly more complex, a really simple one which just works with email and a browser, is meetingwizard.com, and that also helps you prepare an agenda in minutes. So really useful. Now, a brilliant website which I know I've talked about before and I absolutely love, and it's not just about technology time-saving tips, is lifehacker.com.
Yeah.
Been around for years, we all love Lifehacker. It's not just tech, they do things like food hacks, so teaching you how to do stuff with food, stuff about cleaning around the home, but a big part of it, a really good online advice and tools such as how to stop worrying and start saving time and money with auto bill pay and online banking. Which is the thing you forget about, paying bills takes time. You can automate that. You can go online, you can preset them up for a certain date, off you go, it just happens. So what I always think about with time is if you're doing something that you're going to repeat, think about, can you automate it or can you delegate it? So, another part of time is that big business adage is you can't manage what you don't measure. So another thing is measuring time at work. Now, rescuetime.com is a bit of an eye-opener. It's like, I don't know if I want to run this. This basically tracks where you spend your time online.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, exactly. Some people might not actually want to know this, but they reckon that they claim on average to save 3 hours and 54 minutes of productive time per person per week if you run rescuetime.com. It is a bit of an eye-opener. You kind of think, I had no idea I spent so much time on Twitter. But It will even let you block access to distracting sites for, say, 45 minutes or so, or whatever time you set in.
Oh, that can be frustrating.
When you're up against the deadline, you can go, right, I will block myself from Facebook, Twitter, and all those time things. So, it's an interesting tool, that one, because it gives you a brutally honest view of what you're doing with your time online.
Yeah.
So I have run it before, and I did find it quite interesting. I was quite surprised at some sites which I didn't really think I visited a lot. I happened to spend quite a lot of time on. And there's another site that I found recently, which is made in New Zealand now, this tool, called flexitime.co.nz.
Okay.
Now, this is great for small companies, because one of the the tricky things is when you're a small business and you have staff, you have to do payroll, and you also have to do time recording for invoicing and holiday calculations and job tracking and all of that admin-y stuff, which is takes time, basically. Now, FlexiTime does it all online for you. So it's an online time and payroll management tool made in NZ, and it just basically lets you log in, keep a track on things, work out the calculations, and then arrange accordingly. And big bit of advice as well, that the one thing to invest in, because all of these tools, FlexiTime is a paid-for service, but the rest of them are free tools. But the one thing, surprisingly enough, that increases productivity and saves you time is buying a larger monitor.
Really?
Yeah.
A larger computer monitor?
A larger computer monitor. It's actually quite surprising. I was having a look around some of the research done, and studies have shown that if you increase the size of your monitor or add on another monitor, your productivity goes up by about 40%.
Well, I'd say I don't know if that's so true for me, because it just enables me to open more windows and get more distracted by more things.
Well, there is that, but you can also sort of split off what you run on each window. So, for example, if you have a second monitor, you can put your incoming messages onto that, and then switch it off. Just turn it off, so that you've got it there to flip on when you need to look at it. But then you've got your main work window. But it's a lot to do with the fact that people quite often work across multiple applications, and I have noticed that when I'm on my netbook, which has obviously a tiny little screen, my productivity slides, and I make more mistakes, and I don't notice typos and things like that. So there's this is sort of people say to me, if I was going to spend out on one thing to increase my productivity at work, what would I get? And I always say a larger monitor. But over 26 inches, apparently it starts to drop. Possibly because people then open up too many windows and get distracted. But the fun thing, last of all, which I think is wonderful, because, for convenience, nothing beats a pen and paper. I still have a paper diary. If someone rings up, I can grab it, I can open it. I don't have to switch the machine on and open up a piece, software. There's a great, free, reusable, recyclable personal organizer that you can set up at pocketmod.com.
Right.
And it's great. They've basically set up a really great, you just print it out. It's laid out to be like a little personal PDA. And it's just a piece of paper.
Yeah. Simple. Back to basics.
Back to basics.
But using an online tool to help you create it.
That's right.
It's brilliant.
Great, and the most, the best bit of advice really with time saving is get your most important stuff out of the way before you start to play, and then you can have the rest of the day off.
I'll see if I can employ that mantra after the show. Well, in saying that, the most important part of my day is the show, so I do get that out of the way.
Well, there you go. Yeah, very, very early.
Yeah. Hey, thanks, Ms. B. Those are some really helpful tools there.
Great.
Go along to thegeekshow.com, 2 3s rather than 2 E's, and continue the conversation with MsBehaviour on Twitter as well, twitter.com/MsBehaviour. 20 minutes past.